Hello everyone. On this channel, I feel that information about what is happening in China is often not correctly conveyed to countries other than China, so I will be disseminating the information I have gathered in English. I'm getting information from multiple media, so I'd be happy if you could comment on the content of the video. Also, English is not my native language, so I use an AI speaker to create the voice to convey the information correctly. This time, I would like to talk about Biden calling Xi Jinping a dictator. Regarding this story, the part called dictator is attracting attention, but it is necessary to think about how such a story came out. There was an incident in the past when a Chinese spy balloon flew over America and was shot down. Regarding this matter, Xi Jinping has announced that he did not know what the military was doing. Biden said the dictator seems confused by this trend. It's been noted that Biden called Xi Jinping a dictator, but more importantly, Xi Jinping doesn't know what the military is doing. It is said that Xi Jinping probably has not yet completely controlled the military. For example, if the president of a large company knows everything about the company, there are many things he does not know. I think it's common for each department to do things that are different from what the president thinks. There is a limit to the abilities of one person, so it is difficult even at the corporate level to grasp all the information and make it work as you wish. In a country as big as China, it's impossible for a single dictator to be able to grasp everything and run it completely. In China, it has long been said that there are priorities for dictators. It's the military and the police. In particular, it is a unit that guard your own personal area. First of all, it's dangerous if we don't get a firm grip on this, so the top priority is to get the military and police to take control. So I can't quite grasp anything else. The current state of affairs in China does not allow us to grasp even very important military movements. Biden leaked that he knew that Xi Jinping's control was not working. It is not clear why he dared to convey negative information about Xi Jinping to his supporters, as wariness of China is spreading among Biden's supporters. But some people are saying that Biden might have dementia, so I don't know if he's acting or careless. In any case, we know that the U.S. intelligence community knows what's going on inside the Chinese military. It will be an appeal that the President of the United States knows that Xi Jinping has not been able to control the military. And he may have shown a bullish attitude to the American president that information from all over the world will be gathered from the intelligence department almost every day. When one person manages an organization that is too large, naturally this kind of problem arises. Xi Jinping doesn't know everything about where the Chinese military is and what they are doing, and even if there are people who are acting differently than he thinks, Xi Jinping won't know until a problem occurs. That's what it means. I think this is a very scary thing for Xi Jinping. At the very least, regarding the unit in charge of his own protection, it is said that there is no doubt that he is giving consideration to prevent a coup d'état by sending a commander of his own. And the recognition that Xi Jinping is only in control of a very small part of China is quite important in terms of understanding Chinese society. This also applies to the Chinese economy. For example, the Xi Jinping administration wants to curb the real estate bubble. This is a story from the real estate bubble era before Corona. The Xi Jinping administration has made various efforts to regulate real estate transactions. However, Communist Party officials in rural areas would lose their own interests if they regulated real estate transactions. So they created many loopholes in the central government's regulations and created many mechanisms to flow money into the real estate sector. Recently, financial platforms created by local governments, which are quite well known in Japan, are one of them. This is illegal. Local governments cannot borrow money directly, so special corporations are created to borrow money on behalf of the government. It's not illegal to borrow money in return, but local governments in China are fine with doing it illegally. When the Xi Jinping administration makes rules, I think the common sense that the Chinese people do not follow them is not widely recognized in the world, So I would like to talk about an incident involving Chinese architecture that has been attracting attention recently. It is a story in the land of manufacturers in inland China. There were plans to build the tallest tower in the northwestern region of China here. It seems that they were trying to build a tower here similar to Meijudo in Shanghai and make it a symbolic tower of this land. However, many people involved in this construction were exposed. In other words, such a big project is the concession of the Communist Party, so the flow of money and funding are opaque. So the people involved in that sort of thing are being investigated. Therefore, the construction is currently stopped. Let me give you some background. China's central government has announced that promoting construction projects, especially in highly indebted areas, is problematic. They require strict procedures for building permits, especially in areas with serious debt problems. In the project I mentioned earlier, we ignored the strict procedures. Moreover, despite the lack of prospects for raising the necessary funds, the people involved were exposed for ignoring the rules set by the Xi Jinping administration and starting large-scale construction. That's what I'm talking about. Even in China, I think the central government is following the law, but China is different from the common sense of the world. China will not change just because the Xi Jinping administration made new rules. The same is true for economic policy. It is not the case that China as a whole will suddenly move in a different direction just because the central government has set out a policy for economic policy. In China, even the government has no awareness of law abiding, which is a very important basic knowledge when looking at the Chinese economy and society. The most powerful principle of behavior in China is to make money. If you have a chance to make money, you ignore the law, and you don't care about other people's troubles or future troubles. Even if you try to crush the vested interests, they will try to get out of it in one way or another, so it won't go away easily. There was a problem in China, so even if you try to make new rules and improve it, it won't come true. So, even though there is still no demand, the movement to create real estate will not disappear. Since it has become the concession of the local Communist Party, the real situation in China is that it is difficult to destroy it even if you want to. That's all for now. See you next time.